everyone. I am going to talk to you today about peer review. We will be beginning peer review this week for the first time. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about the basics of what I expect from you from a peer review, especially because it's probably a little different than you have done in the past since it's online, and maybe you've not done a peer review before. So I want to go over some basics. So I'm going to go first to the course content tab. I do want to point out that those of you that are not going to the course content tab to access the weekly folders need to do so. Some of the assignments are only available through the weekly folders. And also there's a lot more explanation there, obviously, than on your class schedule. So the class schedule is located over here where I'm kind of circling, you guys see. That tells you where things are located and also like to post and also what's due when. But it doesn't give you any instructions or, anything like that. So you always need to go to these weekly folders for the instructions. Okay, so your summary assignment's located here under essay number 1, summary assignment. Go there first, obviously, before writing your summary so that you can see the specifics. I realize I'm a little bit wordy in my assignments. I hope that you will take that to mean that I really want you to have all of the information. And I do hope that you will read it carefully and make sure that you have everything. I know that sometimes it can seem daunting to read that much for an assignment or something like that, but I just want you to feel secure that you have everything that you need. I like to provide you with examples or models to see how someone else has done it first, so always look for those. But since we were talking about peer review today, I'll go straight into week 4, which is this week. And all of the assignments for the week are here. My view, obviously, is going to be just a little bit different than yours, so bear with me on that, as I'm not in the student view right now. So there are a few things I want to point out first. Your MLA for your summary is located here. You do want to click on this as you're writing your summary, before you write your summary. First of all, formatting an MLA paper is really important, so go there. And then there's more MLA here talking about attributive tags and things like that. But this should help you during the peer review, this MLA for summary document, to help you to give comments to other people on MLA, especially if you don't have a lot of knowledge yourself of using MLA. So this is a guide for you to use so that you can give people feedback. Okay? And then there is a little video here on writing and revising your summary that I would love for you to also watch before turning in your final copy. So I'm going to go back up to the week 4 folder. And I just want to direct you to the peer review instructions. So go to that folder, and there are 2 documents here, both the how and why, so how to do a peer review and why you should do a peer review. This, yes, is in essay format, but this is something I would like for you to read first, and then there also are directions here for using Word's commenting feature. Don't forget that if you do not have Word, you will need to download it on your home computer. There is a link to do so in the syllabus. You should be able to get it free as a KCTCS student. So if you have any questions about how to do that, please let me know. So I'm going to X out of that. You can read that on your own. And there's a student example here of a peer-reviewed paper. So I would like for you to just see that this is an example summary that a student might write. And then feedback here that someone might give. Okay, so notice that there's feedback within, and when you look over here, it highlights what's been written. So this is using the Word commenting feature. And then that goes all the way through. Notice that there are, examples here of what to do. And then also the peer review for summary outline is attached to the end of the peer review with all the questions answered. Take these questions seriously. These are the items that I will use on the rubric for grading your summary. So that's why they're here. And it also obviously helps you to see, what you're doing. So when you, make sure I have all my stuff together here. So when you are looking at someone else's summary, you can make sure that you are looking at the introduction and telling whether or not the title of the article is introduced and in quotation marks. So see, if you feel uncomfortable, and I know some of you have already contacted me about this, and I totally understand feeling uncomfortable with peer reviewing someone else's work because you aren't sure if yours is correct. So why should you give someone else feedback if you aren't sure what you're doing? And I understand that, but there are several reasons why we do peer review. One of them is because you are an audience member to other students' essays. Okay, so if you were to read someone else's summary, then you are that summary's audience. So you can tell that writer, whether or not the summary made sense to you as an audience member. That's something that you can absolutely do without having any knowledge of MLA or of punctuation or of grammar or any of those things. If you can just tell them, hey, this sentence didn't really make sense to me, or it didn't really feel like you were thoroughly summarizing the article after I read the original article, or I'm not sure what you meant by this. Those are the types of comments that you can make, that any of you can make, because you're an audience member. So those are things that you can comment on. Coherence, readability, things like that. But the other things that maybe you aren't so sure of, like MLA and punctuation and grammar and requirements, those are listed here on the outline that's posted on the discussion board peer review. So once you, bring this up and you're doing the peer review, you can comment on these things both within, as we've done here, and then also at the end you can answer. So if, maybe something hasn't been done, like does the writer tell something about the author? Only that she is an author. So you could say, maybe you want to add more about the author there. If something else isn't done, add more. You can make suggestions on the outline. Okay? So don't feel like you have to be an expert at writing to give a peer review. You shouldn't be an expert. You're just an audience member. But you are given a guide in every peer review to follow. And that is what you should use to help you complete your peer review. Okay, so that's the first reason. You are an audience member. The second reason I have you complete peer reviews is because I can teach you everything that I know about writing in this class, but I am not the best teacher of writing. The best teacher of writing is writing. So in that, writing comes revising and editing. And if you revise and edit others' work and you become better at that, then you will obviously then become better at revising and editing your own work because you're practicing. This hones your critical thinking skills. It helps you to look at something more carefully and to see what is right about it or what is wrong about it and to make comments about those things. You obviously want to be respectful in your comments. Always be polite. You don't want someone to say something that would hurt your feelings, so don't do that to others. But you want to say something if you think something's incorrect. You are not doing people a service of reviewing their paper if you don't say anything at all except, good. That's not going to help that paper be any better. Okay, so help that person to see something that maybe they didn't see before. Be a separate set of eyes for that person that you are reviewing. One of the reasons we try to hone our critical thinking skills is because that is what employers like to call a soft skill. So soft skills are things like following directions and critical thinking and being able to take responsibility and things like that. So helping yourself to hone those skills in every little way that you can will obviously then help you in your future careers, and your employers will be hopefully happy with your soft skills once you get to them. So those are the reasons that we do peer review. One thing that I do want to point out is I don't do a peer review for you or review your papers before you turn them in. For several reasons, and one is because that's not going to help you get better at revising and editing. Me doing it for you isn't going to help you get better. I will always give you feedback, though, on your drafts when you turn in your final drafts. So follow that feedback, and that should help you to improve then for the next paper. I also have rubrics for all of your papers, so you can see what you need to do to get better. And all of the peer review outlines are based upon the rubrics I use to grade. So that's all for now. If you have any questions about peer review, let me know. Thank you.